It's hard to believe it, but Ninjago is 15 years old now, and LEGO is certainly celebrating it in style with a shockingly good line of legacy sets, smallest of which being this awesome ninja character display, which for £35 in the UK or $45 in the US gives you a whopping 8 minifigures and 447 pieces in these 5 bags to build up what is a true love letter to Ninjago fans, with the instructions themselves opening up with a really cool little spread about all the minifigures included in the set. The finished product is very much a case of what you see is what you get, but even so, this is a truly wonderful little build. The whole thing sits on this elegantly designed red, black and gold display stand with cool little details built into it to really help tie it into that 15th anniversary aesthetic, while the actual mountain itself is brought to life with cool details like blue flowers, a small cherry blossom tree over here, and this really cool looking stone lantern which uses a Minecraft shulker shell piece in its design. The iconic stairway is perfectly integrated into the rocky mountain face itself, of course leading all the way up to the front gates of the Monastery of Spinjitzu. They are a bit smaller than the ones that were on the 2019 Monastery and do have a gap down the middle, but weirdly, this new set does feel a lot more grand than the old one. I guess owing to the fact that this is actually sat on a mountain this time. The gates aren't just here for show, they can of course open up to let you inside the monastery, which in this set is simply a 2-stood wide ledge with some candles hanging on each wall. But surprisingly, these walls are actually a lot more interesting than it may first seem, because here's something that you might not have noticed about them. You see the way that red blends into the white there using these curved elements on each side? Well, that's something that wasn't present on the Legacy Monastery, and if you look carefully in the TV show, you'll see that from March of the Oni onwards, those same details are very angular just like in that 2019 set, but in the earlier seasons of the show, they're actually curved just like they are in this new one. That is the kind of attention to detail that really shows just how much homework the designers did when putting this thing together. While this is just a simple little monastery display model, they still took the time to put in a small room at the back for 2 characters to sit and enjoy a nice cup of tea in front of a really great piece of art depicting the battle between brothers. This uses the only 2 stickers included in the set, and just look at how well done that is. Wu pushing Garmadon down into the swirling red vortex, while the Ninjago text actually reads "Long before time had a name," which is just such a brilliant finishing touch to this whole set. As the name suggests, this is very much intended to be displayed with minifigures, and there are a few clear action pose pieces scattered around it, so you can attach all 5 of the ninja as well as Samurai X and then finish it off with Master Wu standing by the front gates, really helping bring this model to life. Now, since they are very much the big draw to this set, it should be no surprise that LEGO has gone absolutely all out with these minifigures. Sensei Wu, of course, in a remake of his original suit from 2011 with a little bit of extra leg print giving him some sandals and connecting to his slightly altered robe pattern on the torso, while the orange flower symbol remains in the same place as before, both on the front and the back. Samurai X meanwhile gets an absolutely stunning new outfit, which honestly is in my view the best design she's ever had. She's got much more armour to the legs than the 2012 version, plus a blue belt as well as bulkier armour print to the back as well. The worst part about this one is that tournament shoulder pad, which just doesn't really fit well. This one looks so much better with other armour like the red Legacy shoulder pads, and if you want to make it even more perfect, throw in that 2016 visor face print and it's job done. And of course, we also have all 5 brand new ZX Ninja showing up here, all with golden weapons, which this time has resulted in this questionable Scythe of Quakes design. They put the dragon head at the bottom again and gave it another new spike piece, which is just, I don't know, this is just a weird looking thing, but it is an easy fix to be fair. Kai and Zane keep their gold armor colour from before, and they are by far my favourites here. Kai has lost the shurikens at the front and gained a bit more gold print to the back, but he's otherwise an absolutely fantastic remake of the original ZX minifigure. It's honestly surreal just how good this is. And Zane is in very much the same boat, other than slightly thicker tan print and a few changes to the brown section, this is virtually identical. But he goes one step further than Kai because he actually gets a brand new take on his original face design, including an angry battle damage version on the other side. This is everything that I ever wanted from Legacy minifigures, and if they can do it for Zane, hopefully one day they can do it for the others because this is just so good. Cole and Jay ditch the silver and join in with the gold, and for Cole, this genuinely does look pretty good, very much reminiscent of his Shintaro colour scheme, while his suit design is another brilliant remake both front and back. As for Jay, the gold armour with the silver arm is a bit strange, like Come on, there was a reason why they didn't all have the same armor color in 2012, but ignoring that and just looking at the print, this is a huge glow up. I love the little lightning details in the belt and on the armor, plus the much more detailed back print, and just like Zane, he's also got new face prints, only for his redesign instead of classic J. Still, this smiling face and very angry face I personally really like, and I will be so glad to see these finally replace the 2017 movie face prints, which I've never been a big fan of. The gold overload continues with Lloyd, but at least it makes sense for him. He did become the Golden Ninja shortly after this. His belt is a little lower down now and does blend in a bit with the suit lining, making it harder to really tell what's what, but other than that, this is also a gorgeous little remake, especially with that classic Lloyd snake symbol returning on the back with even better details surrounding it. All of these feature the new ZX masks, which this time around feature the gold crown dual molded in rather than printed on top, giving them two great benefits. There's no chance of it rubbing off like the old ones had a tendency to do, and the colour actually matches with the armour rather than being slightly off. The biggest issue here is that they cut off the eyebrows sometimes, which are like the most important trait the face prints are supposed to have when masked up. And finishing it off is the collectible Master of Lightning, Libba, who gets awesome shiny lightning details running all the way down her torso and on the legs, plus even at the back below her hairpiece, all looking super cool there. And what's more, the little symbol in her belt is the same one featured on some older J suits, so there's a great tie-in there between mother and son. Of course, the stands for these new minifigures are much bigger than the 10th anniversary ones, also getting a new plaque of their own, as well as Technic pins so you can attach it onto the display set itself. With all this on offer, this set is an easy 8.5 out of 10 from me, an absolute beauty. Now, I managed to get this display set on New Year's Eve before it quickly sold out everywhere, and after a few more days of waiting, the next set that we'll be taking a look at finally arrived, along with a free Micro Ninjago City Gardens as a gift for pre-ordering it. Yes, this is the $100 Four Weapons Blacksmith, and while it may only offer up 6 minifigures, the build certainly makes up for it with 1,259 pieces, providing a great experience as the first location ever seen in the Ninjago TV show finally comes to life in LEGO form 15 years later. And what an absolutely stunning model this has turned out to be. It's incredible just how close this thing looks to its TV show counterpart, which is more than can be said for the original set. With beautifully designed mossy rocks going all the way around it, complete with extra cool details like this keep off the grass sign, plus red trees and lots of flowers all over the floor, absolutely nothing has been left untouched when bringing this thing to life. The cobbles near the entrance to the shop are also wonderfully done, with some steps for Sensei Wu to approach ready to recruit some ninja and also steal this cup which has been carelessly left out on the table. This Wu is of course the same minifigure that we saw in the character display. I also love how these wooden supports at the front have been made using brown ingot pieces, as well as the Four Weapons sign, which was a vital detail to get right in. With this logo sticker, the banners hanging down each side, and the unique sign build, they certainly did just that. The big roof has turned out okay, with the brown stripes helping break up the black and make it look a little bit closer to the TV show, but those old fish pieces from the classic ninja theme that it uses in the show are sadly long gone, so this was never going to be perfect. The Exoforce arms aren't a bad replacement though. Whatever you do, don't try and lift this from the roof, because the middle pulls out to gain access to the interior, and straight away we have some great details hidden inside. A Kai ZX mask over here with Kai trading card, plus a Samurai X helmet with Samurai X trading card on the other side. It's great to see these still showing up, and even cooler, this also grants access to a hidden button next to the unfinished Samurai helmet, which can blow the sign off the front, revealing a map to the 4 golden weapons. If only this set had Knuckle and Cruncher. Getting an aerial view of the interior is really cool, it just looks so amazing down there, and what's more, we can open up the shop to really get exploring inside. To the left, a smaller room with a super cool bed design just like we saw in the pilots, which has been made using different sized window frame pieces attached to the wall on the side, along with pictures hanging up above it, a blade from Kai's classic spinner, and
all tools for a samurai.
And the use of that prison door piece to get this unique window shape in place is also really good. But it is on the other side where the main event is. This is the blacksmith itself, and it is simply amazing. We've got shelf space next to the big gold tile, which turned out to be very important in Hands of Time, plus the blue phone hanging over here, while the floor has an absolutely brilliant brilliant design with lots of round tile pieces giving it a unique look, complete with a stud to stand Kai. This time of course he's in his blacksmith outfit, which is so much better than whatever they were doing in Ninjago City Markets because he actually has the right colour scheme and unique leg and torso printing in this set. All this is missing is an updated take on his classic design. This looks absolutely amazing with that old face print, and it would have been so great to get a new take on it, especially since they've shown that they are perfectly willing to do that with Zane. And with this anvil, water bucket and furnace, he's got all he needs to hammer out some quality items, with these weapons hanging up in the back actually being from Kai and Nia's original spinners. Her golden daggers also show up here with Nia herself, and just look at how good this new minifigure is as well. Changing the fire phoenix symbols into water ones to match with Nia's updated elemental power and just all around altering this slightly to match modern day design aesthetics is really cool, especially with the added backprint this time. And as if that wasn't enough, we also have Ray and Maya returning here. Ray in his Serpentine War era outfit that we never got before as a minifigure, which is so cool with that golden dragon face on the front and silver armor all carrying on around to the back, while he also gets an angry face print to contrast with the much happier one we see here. Compared to the old Ray, this is just wonderful. That one was ready for blacksmithing, this one is ready for battle, and the face prints are all nice and unique. Maya is much closer to her original design. All that's changed is she has a brown belt now, slightly different armor on the front and back, which actually feels quite similar to Nia's from the new Samurai X minifigure. This is just fantastic. The only downgrade with this one is the face, now just being a reuse rather than unique. And finally, there's yet another Serpentine War era elemental master with Benton, the Master of Earth, who really makes this set a solid 6 for 6 when it comes to minifigures, because once again he is brilliant. I love the silver body design with those nice robes printed over it. Funnily enough, it's just a Ninjagoified take on Gimli's from Lord of the Rings, but with a unique back printing giving him a special earth symbol. And below the helmet is a head that was used in last year's Horse Knight Castle with two very cool face prints. In the show, he actually just used Aragorn's face on a yellow head, so yeah, I'm fine with this one being a reuse. And just like Lightning, he also gets a special anniversary stand, so we can either plug that into hers and start making a nice little line of elemental masters, or plug him into the other side of the display stand to make it the centerpiece of a growing anniversary collection. With a stunning build and amazing minifigures to accompany it, the Four Weapons Blacksmith is a simply magnificent set. I really can't overstate just how much I love this. My biggest issues with it are basically just nitpick. A new face for Kai would have been nice to get, and one or two skeletons, including a Samurai remake, would have genuinely made this a 10 out of 10 set, but even without those, this is still an easy 9 out of 10 from me. These two sets really are the pinnacle of what Ninjago Legacy should be striving for, proving that this sub-theme is once again back on top form this year, and I for one cannot wait to get hold of the Old Town soon and see just what else this line has in store.